Please consider subscribing. I'm gonna redo that. Hello friends, fellow artists, and Art League family. This is William McMahon. I'm here today at the Murray Hill Art Center. I'm going to be doing a presentation on how to draw human lips from straight on. Hope everyone enjoys the demonstration video. All right, when I'm drawing lips, what I like to do initially is establish the philtrum. That's the little teardrop shaped form underneath your nose. I'm going to be doing this lip demo from straight on angle. When your model starts tilting their head, the philtrum becomes even more important because the philtrum is going to serve as the vertical axis for the lower part of your face. So I establish that. Then I'm going to come up, I'm going to arc up, and then I'm going to mimic that dip in the middle on either side, and I'm going to come back down. And this is general generic lips. Everyone's lips are going to be different. This is just general generic technique for drawing lips. Now, usually one's upper lip is going to have more rise and fall, and it's going to be thinner, and then the lower lip is going to be flatter and fuller. Start my drawings light, loose, and quick, holding my mark making tool closer to the base. The upper lip is comprised of 3 muscles. I have a muscle here in the middle, one muscle here, one muscle here. And the lower lip is going to be comprised of 2 larger muscles, one here and one here. Okay, so again, you see that I have blocked in the outline of the shape of the lips, and I'm going to come here, mouth opening, dip down, also mimicking underneath that form of the dip in the philtrum. Lower lip, flatter, fuller. But really, when I actually start rendering my lips, I'm going to want to eliminate my outlines and replace them with hatch marks to create my value. I'm going to go ahead and establish my light source. I'm going to put my light source in the upper left. Now, once I get kind of comfortable with the shape of the lips, now I'm going to think, okay, here is my middle muscle, like a sphere. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mimic this contour and that contour in either direction. So I'm going to be bending these marks in a similar manner to that mark there on the edge of the central muscle. And I'm going to be bending. So now I'm kind of giving myself what I would call contour guideline. And now I'm going to go and do the same thing on the other side. And think of contour lines as lines following form. So here's my contour guideline. Now, for the lower lip, 2 muscles. However, in the upper lip, I can just kind of add a bit more circles. I'm going to do something similar in the lower lip. I'm going to give myself just a soft guide to help facilitate these informative contours, my contour guidelines. I'm going to mimic here, except now in the middle, because there is no third muscle, I'm just going to have these lines flatten out. So here's kind of my base information. Now I'm going to get more towards my rendering. In general, one of the mantras that I advocate for people embracing and having in their head is upper lip dark, lower lip light. I'm going to do a 30-second demo for you guys on how we can show lips and make them appear 3-dimensional in about 30 seconds just by remembering upper lip dark, lower lip light. Little shadow underneath the lower lip. So I probably exceeded the 30-second mark by a bit, but still fairly quick. And that would appear as though the lips are seeming 3-dimensional. The upper lip is angling in towards the opening of the mouth. The lower lip is rolling out, so it's going to catch highlight. I'm now going to use my contour guidelines as a tool for me to more easily and accurately lay in my contour lines. And I'm using these for 3 reasons that I advocate for using hatching when rendering lips. 1, because there's a value shift from one's flesh onto the lips. So we're trying to show that value shift. 2, we're using the contours to inform the viewer about the shape and the angle tilts of the lips. And then 3, because if you look closely at lips, they really are comprised of tons and tons of little lines. So it's a nice technique. And at this stage, people might be a bit reticent, skeptical. Oh, William, the lips look like they're 2 worms. Oh, it looks like the lips are stitched together. It looks like the lips are mustaches, etc. Trust the process, ride it out, and I bet you'll be pleased with the end result, especially if you practice a few times. So now I'm going to come back in. I'm going to lean on the opening of the mouth, one of the orifices, a place that we want to press nice and dark even when the mouth is closed. Now again, I'm thinking light source upper left, lower lip light, especially on the side closest to the light source. Lips are also moist, wet, reflective surface. So we want to leave nice, distinct highlights. Every mark that I'm making right now is informed, and it's informed by the contour guidelines that I established at the beginning of the rendering. If you may observe that when I'm doing my hatching, I'm doing it quickly. There's 2 reasons why I'm doing that. 1, because I want to keep the videos short so they can be consumed quickly and get a lot of information across without droning on too long. And then also because for me, when I'm doing my hatch marks, I actually can achieve better precision and uniformity when I get in a nice rhythm. If I was trying to do each one of these marks very meticulously, I could do a nice job and it would have a different kind of appeal, a different kind of quality. But I'm going to have my tightest marks when I'm doing them and laying them down at a rhythm that I don't want to feel rushed, but you don't want to rush, but when you get a nice speed that's pretty quick, that's a good thing to aim for. Also, one thing with the philtrum, kind of puckers out, then it dips in. Again, I'm going to think about an informative contour for me here is going to be more horizontal, and I would normally be rotating my paper right now. I try to rotate my paper as much as possible to facilitate marks that are the most comfortable for me once I understand the principle of a drawing. And then you're going to actually achieve, or oftentimes observe, a thin highlight right above the upper lip. Conversely, we're going to have some cast shadow from the lower lip, the recessed area. The lower lip is rolling out. Then you have a little recessed area before the chin.
Real quick, 4 and 9 minutes.
Then protrudes back out. So I got the chin. Try to think about shapes fitting into shapes. I'm going to come back. I'm going to eliminate my edges. No outlines on lips. That's huge. I'm going to go in. I'm going to reinforce the darks on the opening of the mouth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of short hatch mark contour hatching on the lower lip right below the opening to kind of help send the viewer into that area and to really have the lower lip appear as though it's rolling out from a dark area, which it is. So I go and reinforce, and again, every single mark that I'm making at this point is guided by the contour map that I laid out for myself early in the drawing. It's a good idea to get in the habit of giving yourself contour guidelines early on in your drawing, so that if you go and you decide to do your rendering using hatch marks or even a combination of blended marks, hatch marks, you can even do something called contour blending. One of the artists that I work with named Nancy, she is someone who generally keeps her tool on the paper, but then she will still show movement in her marks even though she's blending. It's always just something to be mindful and aware of. We're always looking for different techniques that we can integrate, different things to be mindful of. You want to be very mindful when you're drawing. You combine mindfulness with the ability to let yourself be creative and loose too. That's what we're going to try to strive for. The more you get the principles embedded and the mantras embedded, the easier it is to be creative and more spontaneous and whatnot with your work in an informed manner. And then I'm going to try to go in for my final touches also to get rid of those initial muscles that I kind of blocked in. And then with lips, again, with the fact that they are a bit wet and reflective, we want to try to get some nice distinct highlights. We don't want as much of like a soft highlight. We want crisp highlights as you would see on something like water or glass. And if you see when I'm making my erase marks, instead of going just horizontal, I'm continuing to follow those contours. That sort of thing is just going to be another level of information for the viewer to consume. Get rid of those, reinforcing the hatching just a bit, and then we'll wrap up this demonstration. In the future, I will do demonstrations on how to show lips from different angles. And so really the only time when the upper lip is going to not be darker than the lower lip is when one is lit from below, which is going to be a very unusual circumstance. You're in a dark room, you're looking at an iPad, maybe around a campfire, but those are the exceptions to the rule. Do try to embed in your mind upper lip dark, lower lip light. It's a really quick thing that you can add to a drawing and especially if you're rendering someone a small rendering, if you're able to achieve that, it looks nice. And we try to eliminate outlines on lips too. I hope this has been informative for everyone. Please consider subscribing to our channel, Art League Online. We are trying to bring you fantastic content on a regular basis. The response so far has been very positive, very flattering, very exciting for Rio and myself. So thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for taking the time to check out this video on drawing human lips from straight on. Please consider subscribing to our channel, Art League Online. We're working very diligently to put out some really strong content for everyone. We also love comments. Any likes are much appreciated. And I will see you guys next week. Keep drawing.